Hello students, continue with the lesson number 3rd module 3. In the previous module we have discussed about the processing of wool. In this we will be talking about the silk. So silk is an animal fiber obtained from cocoons of silkworm. So this raising and rearing of the silkworm to get the silk or the raw silk, this method is called sericulture. And we get the silk from the silkworm. So the life cycle of silkworm includes 4 steps: egg, larva, pupa and silk moth or silkworm. So egg, it is the first stage of silkworm life cycle. They lay the egg on the mulberry leaves because they are feeding mulberry leaves only. They stay there, they live there, they eat that mulberry leaves. So they lay their egg on the mulberry leaves. Female moth lay its eggs. Second, larva. The egg hatches into larvae or caterpillar, and this stage continues for 27 days. So slowly they keep on shedding of their skin. So in this stage they shed their skin for 4 times. So this process of shedding their skin is called molting. So what is molting? The process of shedding the skin in the larva stage of silkworm is called molting. Next is pupa. After the larva hatches, the larva grow, they spin around themselves a thread-like structure. That means they are inside that bag-like structure in the form of thread. They are protective inside that, and that thread-like structure is called cocoon. This stage is very important because this stage is crucial for the formation of silk. So the caterpillar spins the fine filament around in the layers to form cocoon. Silk threads are obtained from the cocoon. The last one is silkworm or silk moth. The pupa changes into moth which comes out of the cocoon. That means if they are still in the tree cocoons, they leave the cocoon and they mature, and the cocoons are left in the branch of the mulberry leaves, and they become adult and they leave it. So the female adult again lay the eggs and the cycle continues. But if you want the silk, so the cocoon stage is taken, the cocoons are taken and then they are used, they are put in the hot water to get the silk thread that will do further. Now you can see in this diagram the stages of the silkworm. So you can see the first stage, the eggs are on the mulberry leaves, then they grow and form larva. Larva hatches to form grow and to form cocoon. They are inside that. The silk moth is inside the cocoon. Cocoons then become big, they mature, they change into silk moth. So you can see the life cycle of a silk moth. It's very important. And then they lay the egg on the leaf. So this cycle continues. Now the processing of silk. That means how we get the silk. So as I already telling you at the third stage, that silkworm, we get the silk from the cocoon stage. So first stage of processing of silk is boiling. Cocoons are boiled. That means cocoons are taken out from the branches and they are put in the hot water to kill the larva inside, which softens the silk thread. So this is called boiling. So boiling, the cocoons are boiled in the hot water to kill the larva inside, which softens the silk thread. Now when they are in the hot water, all the larvae are being killed, so the thread itself comes out. So they have to be reeled out, like we have a reels to make the thread. In the same way, so those thread is being reeled out, they are being collected in a type of a reel. So this process of obtaining silk thread by soaking cocoons in hot water is called reeling or the filature. So fine fibers are reeled together to get a stronger thread called raw silk. So all the fibers that combine together, they reel together to get a stronger thread, and that is called raw silk. Once they are reeled, now you see we have got different silk cloths, not only yellow or white, because the silk that we get directly from the cocoon is of white color or yellow color, but they are for colorful. So in that we have to do dye. So it is dyed to get different colors. And the last stage is spinning and weaving. Once they have dyed, these dyed silk fibers are then spun into silk thread, and which are woven into silk cloth by the weavers. And we know that spinning the fibers, twisting the fiber by the help of machine is called spinning. So these are then spun into silk thread, which are woven into silk cloth by the weavers. So for processing we need the 4 steps: boiling, reeling, dyeing, spinning and weaving. So that's why most of the people who are animal lover, they don't wear silk, because here we are killing the cocoons. Live cocoons are being killed and they use. Some of the cocoons which are damaged were already died in the lavas, have been died in the pupa stage only. So that cocoon, that silk is not good quality. So that is called spun silk or the damaged silk. But if we use the silk used from the cocoons after they have been killed, so they are called, their gross silk, it's a good quality. Now the properties of silk. So I have made the table in it. The property of silk. So first depends upon the texture. Texture means the quality. How if you touch it, it feels very soft, smooth and lustrous. Lustrous means shining. Then it's very strong natural fibers, because we are getting from the silkworm, the natural animal. Third, absorption of moisture. The absorptive capacity of the silk fabric apparable even for warmer atmosphere. That means we prefer it to wear in the winters. They can absorb the moisture, and even in the summers. Insulating nature, because they help to remain cool in the summer and warm in the winter. So it's preferred to wear in both the season. So cleanness and washability, it's very shining, it's easy to clean, it's easy to wash, it does not stick the dirt because it's very smooth and attractive. So these are properties: texture, strength, absorption of moisture, insulating nature, cleanness and washability. Now the quality of the silk. Now the quality of the silk depends upon which type of silkworm it is, how much mulberry leaves they have eaten, the mulberry leaves that they are eating are good or not. Then how we select the cocoons should not be damaged. And then the weaving and finishing of the silk thread, it should be finished, it should be reeled off very nicely, and then the weaving and spinning should be done very properly. So that all depends the quality of the silk. Now while doing the work in the wool industry or in the silk industry, you see, we put the hot cocoons in the hot water, people are touching it, those who are working there, they put their hands in the hot water, they inhale the bad smell. If in the silk industry also, in the wool industry, they cut the hairs and they wash it, so they might cause many of the diseases. So the next topic is health hazards. So wool workers employed in the wool and the silk industry suffers from various kinds of diseases. So these diseases are called occupational hazards. Why occupation? Because it's related to occupation, the work they are doing. So people are doing the work in the wool industry and the silk industry. So it's not the disease from the body or from the any differential disease, it's from the work that they're doing. That's why it is called occupational hazards. So what are those diseases? So first we'll be discussing about the diseases, occupational hazards is of wool industry. So in the case of wool industry, there is first disease called Sorter's disease or anthrax. Anthrax is a disease which is caused by the bacteria Bacillus anthracis, which is present in the hairs of the infected animals and causes many severe blood infection. Now we have done in the wool processing of wool that they cut the wool, they cut the hairs of the sheep, that is called fleece. And while cutting, because they are going outside, they are being attacked by many of the germs, many infections, many dirty places. So they may cause the bacteria in them, and that causes the disease called Sorter's disease or anthrax. And because they are cutting, they use many chemicals to clean that wool or the in the reeling. So that causes many allergic reactions. So allergic reactions are other occupational hazards. Laborers may have many allergic skin infections, such as irritation of the skin and eyes, respiratory allergy. They might have the disease called asthma, because they're inhaling the bad chemicals used in the wool industry and the silk industry. So in the case of occupational hazards of wool industry, so basically there are two types of diseases: Sorter's disease and many allergic reactions. And now the occupational hazards of silk industry. So they're using many chemicals which are used for degreasing, disinfecting the bleaching and dyeing of the silk. So may cause many of the allergic, asthmatic problem, many skin infection, eye infection. The scales of the moth and silk fibers proteins can initiate the asthma. And the continuous contact the hot water, because all the cocoons are put in the hot water, so they're putting the hands in that, so it might cause many of the skin diseases. This kind, they may have got many rashes in them, many burns and scalds. And many of the dyes that are used to color silk are easily absorbed by our digestive system, because the dyes are not good, the different colors are being used, so they are inhaling while breathing, so most of that they go in the digestive system and may cause many of the health problems. Okay, so these are the occupational hazards of silk industry, and we can prevent it by using the less chemicals, by proper ventilation programs there, by washing the hands, by using the gloves in putting the hot water, etc. That means people has to be very hygienic, like now we are doing. We have to be very controlled to prevent the diseases. So this is the whole chapter. In the next module I'll be doing the worksheet second related to this module along with the answers. Thank you.